couple different things that I want to show y'all. A couple different things. So let's go to 2 hours and 10 seconds.
You want, but I got to be a little bit careful with the liquid gold, you know?
I understand. But listen, there's plenty of good work that could be done if you focus on health.
Here's the one that my all-time favorite, though.
What is that?
See the arrow right here? That's what I left.
Do you have anyone that is pressuring you to not work with him? Have there been people
to not work with who?
So just to give y'all some context, they were having a conversation about RFK Jr. So for all y'all that listen on a regular basis, y'all know that RFK Jr., that was the candidate that I was supporting. The reason why, when RFK Jr. first went over to Trump, I was not one of these people that automatically brought my support over to Trump. I wanted to see how exactly, if he was using, RFK Jr. There were a lot of thoughts that came to mind. Because with a lot of people, what ends up happening is like, okay, oh yeah, come over here. Yeah, you get your people to support my people. And then once I get elected, I'll take care of you. That was not what Trump did with RFK Jr. He was giving him instant platforms to speak on the things that were very important to me, whether it's the disease epidemics, the vaccines, whether it was the overall health and wellness in our country, where it's going against big pharma, calling out the Food and Drug Administration for getting rid of a lot of these toxic chemicals and ingredients that we have in our foods. These were a lot of the things that were very important to me. Listen to how Trump, and we always said, a lot of people said, oh, he's just bringing him on board to get to get RFKs. Okay, cool. Donald Trump has lost, in my opinion, or he risked a lot of the support that he's gotten within Big Pharma, because we're acting as if Big Pharma, maybe people think that Big Pharma just endorses the Democrats. I thought that would be a biased take. It actually would be in my favor to present it that way. But Big Pharma, they support Democrat and Republicans. Food and Drug Administration, relationships with Democrats and Republicans. How? Because, well, if Big Pharma has a relationship with the Democrats and Republicans, and obviously the Food and Drug Administration, because they're all connected. That's the whole BlackRock connection, all the elites, right? So when we look at them, listen to Donald Trump describe the risk that came with bringing on a guy like RFK Jr.
That is pressuring you to not work with him. Have there been people
to not
that
work
are
with
reaching
who?
RFK Jr.?
Yes.
Yes, I would imagine. Because financially, he could put a dent.
I would say that, and I think in many ways they've done a good job. In many ways they've done a bad job. But I would say that the Big Pharma wasn't thrilled when they heard that, I have a relation. I've actually always gotten along very well with him. I've known him a long time. He's a different kind of a guy. He's very smart, great guy. And he's very sincere about this. I mean, he really is, he thinks we spend a fortune on pesticides and all this stuff, and then you end up with that chart is a terrible chart, the one previous. It's such a bad chart when you look at where we are compared to other countries that don't spend 10 cents.
Right.
So, and you save a lot of money. But, yeah, I've had some people that aren't exactly thrilled. You can imagine, right?
Sure.
It's a good question, actually.
Well, certainly if there
it doesn't affect me.
Some pharmaceutical drugs that have been prescribed that have negative consequences that these people have been profiting off of, and then you have a guy like RFK Jr. who spends an enormous amount of time highlighting those things. You could say how they'd be very reluctant to have you support him.
I would say that's an understatement, yes.
Yeah.
And you know what's so funny? I got to go back. I'm not going to say a name, but you know what's so funny with a lot of black people that call out Donald Trump for being racist? Donald Trump just brought on RFK Jr. RFK Jr., look it up, has a history of helping a lot of impoverished communities, the small guy, the people that a lot of these big corporations poison them, whether it's the Ford plant, whether it's the water with the New York water system, with them putting toxic water going to the impoverished areas, largely black areas and neighborhoods, compared to the white neighborhoods receiving the clean water. Donald Trump brings on a guy like RFK Jr. What I remember when 2020 happened and the pandemic, and people were saying that it's going to hurt black communities more because of they face a lot of the based on their health not being the health being what it is, eating worse food, dealing with more cases of diabetes, having a more compromised immune system, just based on our overall health being less than a lot of other communities in these impoverished areas. So Trump brings on RFK Jr., who actually wants to make America healthy again, right? Who has a track record of it, who actually lives it, right? Track record, lives it. Not only lives it, but works it. He does both. This is his career. He's an environmental attorney. This is what he's done. So he brings on a guy like RFK Jr. that wants to make the country healthier again, that wants to attack big pharma, who preys on a lot of these impoverished areas, who wants to address and hold the Food and Drug Administration to a higher standard, which preys on a lot of Black communities. So we don't make that connection, but we'll make the connection about a comedian making a joke at his rally. But we won't make the connection about bringing on RFK Jr. to address a lot of these issues that overwhelmingly impact Black and impoverished communities more than others. But I digress.
So what do you do to stop that from getting in the way?
Well, look, they've come up with some amazing things. I mean, I don't know how you feel. I know you're against certain vaccines, but like the polio vaccine, people had polio. It was like a disaster. And they came up, Dr. Salk, and he came up with a vaccine, and there's no polio. Now, very interesting, there hasn't been polio, but now in the Gaza Strip, can you believe that? Have you heard that? There's been a big strain of polio coming out in the Gaza Strip.
Is it vaccine-derived polio? Because, there's a strain of polio that comes directly from the vaccine, because unfortunately sometimes when you vaccinate people for polio, you actually give them polio.
I haven't heard that, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, all I can do is I sit down and I listen to him and I'll give it a total. I would love him to be right, because if he's right, it's a lot less expensive, generally speaking.
There's two things that...
Yo, man. Let's go to this other clip. I don't want to keep talking y'all heads.
Well, it's a narrative, right? And it's a narrative that appeals to people that are not doing well. Yeah. And they're like, our problems are that these rich people are not paying taxes.
Well, the problems are the rich people are going to leave and they're going to close up their companies, and then the other people aren't going to have jobs. That's what happens.
It does happen in other countries.
But the whole, because you brought it up.
So just to be clear, this is what we're talking about, taxes. And we've talked about this before on the show. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but a lot of people talk about Donald Trump giving like a lot of corporations tax, like cutting the corporate tax, and not realizing how a lot of this stuff works, in my opinion. If you take a risk as an entrepreneur and you are hiring people in a company, you deserve to have tax breaks. While everybody else that works at your company benefits and has the privilege of a 9-to-5 benefits package, they know exactly when they're getting paid. They're getting paid the same amount every 2 weeks or whatever, their pay period is. Their pay doesn't go up and down based on the overall company's performance. They deserve to get a break. Like the nerve of people, and this is what a lot of people, I suggest that a lot of people try to start their own business. I suggest that a lot of people try to start their own business, go broke, go through all the ups and downs, all the obstacles. I know that a lot of people living in this country just like to think of the only people that are wealthy were people that were just born wealthy. Like nobody went out and actually took a risk, right? Nobody's opening up all these businesses. I know that we like in our minds to just think that, oh no, wealthy people, they just, were born with wealth. Everybody was just born with wealth. Okay, cool. Once you get past that, then you'll understand that all the risk, everything that goes into it, and all the benefits that people that are not willing to open up their own businesses and take the risks that come with that, all the privilege that is provided by them to people that they hire. Now, what he's saying, I don't know if that's true. Joe Rogan said it as well, which is a lot of companies will move or shut down or hire less people or whatever that may be if you're not giving them that particular corporate tax cut or whatever, Donald Trump is proposing. But whether it's Donald Trump proposing it, whether it's Democrats, that's just my mindset on it. So I'm not sure. I haven't dove into the particulars of his exact plan when it comes to cutting, corporate taxes, but that is my mindset going into it. as far as just seeing the risk that it takes and understanding that if people do not decide to take, if we don't have entrepreneurs, then there's not going to be any 9-to-5s. Like a 9-to-5 is just a successful entrepreneur who's able to hire you. Like that's, unless you work for a government or state agency. Most people work for people that were entrepreneurs that took all these risks, and now they give you the comfort based on you working for them. So I don't know.
I'll tell you what, he's doing a very good job in Virginia. Glenn Youngkin, I don't know if you like him, not like him.
I don't know him.
But you don't know him, the governor of Virginia? So we have a case where they found thousands of illegal ballots. A judge just ruled that they have to be able to vote. Just happened today. Just before I walked in here, I heard a judge just ruled that you have to keep those people in. They're illegal. They're illegal votes. Now, I think they'll be overturned at the next court. One thing I found, because I had a couple of things that they get overturned a little bit, the system.
All right. So that's the main thing I want to discuss on that. And it's actually funny that he brings up the voting. I was going to play this other video a little bit later, but actually maybe it's connected to what he just said regarding a lot of these people that are voting. All right. So matter of fact, yeah, we'll make a pivot. That's what we do. All right. So I want y'all to take a look at this video right here. So this is the Lieutenant Governor of Virginia. It's Dak. Just want to thank you for checking out our video and visiting the OG Network. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure that you give us a like. And if you're looking to join a community of inspired individuals striving for purposeful abundance, subscribe. And if you're feeling real generous, share the video with some friends and family. All right, I'll see y'all soon. Ew.